we're going to learn about OE, which only happens in 4 words. OE only happens in 4 words, and they're short words. I'll show you. And it's going to come at the end. So OE, you'll see at the end of do, to. It's probably more than 4, but row, that's a different kind of row. It's like a fish row. And faux. Oops, I said for. Faux. There's a couple others, but OE is so rare, you're almost never going to use it. If you write the word toe, like your big toe, you're going to use OE. But it only comes at the end of really short words, 1 syllable, okay? But you know what comes at the end of a lot of words is just a regular O. It only comes at the end of 3 short words like no, go, and so. But it comes at the end of a lot of multi-syllable words like tomato, potato, taco, piano. So all of those words have an O at the end. Another way to spell the O sound at the end is with an OW. That's actually more common, and that's how we spell the O sound at the end of English words like blow or window. But if you'll notice up there, tomato, potato, especially taco and piano, taco is a Spanish word, piano is an Italian word. When you see a word that is a foreign word and it ends with an O sound, it's going to be spelled with just a regular old O. So today, when we are spelling the O sound at the end, here's what we're going to do. They're all going to be foreign words if they're multisyllable. If they're short, you're going to use an OE at the end because that's the only place OE is found, is at the end of short words. So if it's just 1 syllable and it's at the end, you're going to use OE. But if it's a longer word, we're just going to assume that they're all foreign words because we're going to be practicing that O at the very end to spell the O sound. Right on? Okay. That's okay, Jeff. You never have to type. You never have to worry about being late. I know you guys are busy. Oh, hi, Brooke. And you have things to do. I'm just glad you're here. I'm just glad you made it, my friends. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so do you remember what our reading pattern is for the day? If we hear O at the end of a short word, we're going to spell it O-E. I'm going to put it up here in the corner. If you hear O at the end of a longer word, we're going to assume it's a word from a foreign country, and we're going to spell it with just a regular O at the end. So our first word to spell together is opero. Opero. So our sounds are A, P, O. Now we can already tell that we're not going to use this OE because it's not a short word. Short words, the definition is it can only have one of these dots. Only one vowel sound is considered a short word. If it's anything longer than 1 dot, if there's 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots, then it's considered a longer word, a multi-syllable word, and we're going to spell the O sound with just a regular O at the end. Okay, opero, consonants. We have A, P, O. Vowels, ah. We start with the most common spelling, which is a short O. Can this O say ah here? Yeah. Technically it can, can't it? Because there are 2 consonants after it. We're going to leave it like that. And then we're going to assume that this is a foreign word that ends with an O sound, so we're going to spell it with an O. That's why these 2 O's say 2 different things because of the letters that are around it. This O says ah because there are 2 consonants after it. This says O because it's the very last letter. O can say O when it's the very last letter. Your word is lompo. Lompo. Lips together. P, O. Lompo. And then put your spelling in the Q&A. Lompo. 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 So you have to decide if it's an OE, if it's a short word with only one vowel, or just a O at the end if it's a multi-syllable word. Lompo. There we go. Yes, so our consonants are L, ah, p, O. Consonants. Ah. Can an O spell ah here? Yes, because of the tab 2 rule. O, we're assuming it's a foreign word that ends in an O sound, so we're spelling it with just a single O. Beautiful. All right, our word together is bow. Bow. B-O. Consonants. B. Since it's a short word that ends with an O sound, I'm going to spell it with an OE. You can also spell bow this way. In the real world, that's how it's spelled. This OW is how you spell the O sound at the end of most words. Remember, this OE only comes at the end of 4. It's very rare. But these, I'm trying to make nonsense words. So your word is vo. Vo. How would you spell that? Vo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get it. So we're going to start it with the consonant. We're going to end with the OE because it is technically a monosyllable word, a one-syllable word. When you have that ends with an O sound, it's usually, well, it could be spelled with an OE if it's one of those 4 words. Toe, row, foe, and doe, like a deer. Okay, number 3, spamo. Spamo. We have sp, ah, o. Consonants. Sp, ah, o. Vowels. Ah. Can this O say ah here? Not yet, because there is not 2 consonants after it. If there's not 2, make 2. Now it's nice and happy and it can say ah in that spot. Short vowels require 2 consonants after them. If there's not 2, make 2. And then we're assuming this is a foreign word. It ends with O, so we're spelling it with just a single O. Your word is strondo. Strondo. St-r-a-n-d-o. Go for it. Strondo. Put it in the Q&A when you're done. Drop of golden sun. Doe, a deer, a female deer. Ray, a drop of golden sun. I love that you know that. Strondo. Yeah, so your choice is an OE or an O at the end, and I'm seeing a lot of both in the chat. So here's how you're going to know. It's an OE if there's only one dotted line. See these? There has to be only one of those, like up here. There's only one dot. That means there's only one vowel. That's the only time you get to use OE, is if the word has only one vowel. If it has any more than one vowel, if there's 2 or more dots, you have to use this guy. So feel free to change your answer if you want. Strondo. So we have a 3-letter consonant blend at the beginning. We have st-r, a, n, d, o. Ah. Can O say ah here? Yes, it can, because there are 2 consonants after it. It's perfectly happy right there. O. Well, it's a multi-syllable word. We're assuming it's foreign, so we're ending it with a single O to spell the O sound. All right, you ready to get a little tougher? Should we step it up a notch? Our word together is flopado. Flopado. F-L-O-P-A-D-O. Consonants. F-L-O-P-A-D-O. Vowels. I want this O to say O. Can it? Yes, because there's already a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. It's perfect, just the way it is. I want this to say ah. Can it? No, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away that would make it say its name O. I don't want it to say O, I want it to say ah. Ah is a short vowel sound. Short vowel sounds require 2 consonants after them. If there's not 2, make 2. Now it's nice and happy in that spot, and it can say ah. O at the end of a foreign word is spelled with a single O. All right, here we go on your own. Bro-popo. Bro-popo. B-R-O-P-O. Bro-popo. Go ahead. Bro-popo. 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 So far, only one person in the chat has got it. Two. Two people so far have got it. This must be a hard one. Well, let's go slow on this one then. Bro-popo. Everybody else is so close. If you didn't get it, you were so close. Only one letter off. Okay, bro-popo. Consonants. B, R, O, P, A, P, O. So far, so good? Let's go straight to our O at the end. Is it going to be an OE or an O? Well, is there more than one vowel? Yeah, because we've dot the vowels, sounds, so we can see that there's three. So we already know that it's going to be this O right here. That's for longer words. So how are we doing so far? We've gotten this far so far? This far in your word? All right, O. I want this to say bro-popo. So this sound is O. Can this O say O in this spot? Yes, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. Are you still with me on your word? Now here we have an ah sound. Can this O say ah here? Not yet, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. That would make it say O. I don't want it to say O. I want it to say ah. Ah is a short sound. Short sounds require 2 consonants after them. If there's not 2, make 2. Now we have a short O spelling right there. Bro-popo. Bro-popo. Now, according to the chat, what I see in the Q&A, that was a hard one for a lot of people. Let's try one more kind of similar to that, okay? Cho-tombo. Cho-tombo. Ch. Like a chop. Ch. O. T. A. M. B. O. Cho-tombo. 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 We are spelling Cho-tombo. Cho-tombo. Now, since it's a longer word, 1, 2, 3 vowels, we know that it's going to be this guy at the end, right? Because he is only for short. Only short words get the OE. This guy is going to be much more common. If it's a longer word, it's going to end with an O. Cho-tombo. There we go. Cho-tom-b. B. Cho-tombo. Good. Do not sheath. Nice. Emily, give me one more letter. Find out where it's at. Cho-tom. Lips together. Cho-tombo. There we go. Nice, Gwendolyn. Yes, you got it, Emily. Good. All right. So our consonants are ch, o, t, a, m, b, o. Vowels. O. Can this O say O here? Yep, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. That will make it say its name and say O. Ah. Can this O say ah here? Yep, because there isn't a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. So it's not going to say O. It'll say its regular short sound ah, because there are 2 nice little friendly consonants after it. And then O at the end of a longer word is spelled with an O. O at the end of a longer word is spelled with an O. Sometimes it's OW. Depends on if it's English or foreign, right? All right. Do you want an easy one, a medium one, or a hard one to conclude with? We might have time for 2 more. Yeah, everybody's saying medium. Well, almost everybody. Okay. Let's do a medium one. I want you to do Shopoflo. Shopoflo. O p a f l o. Shopoflo. 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 Now a lot of people know how to spell the word show. However, you can't rely on that spelling. If you hear show in the middle of a longer word, you can't rely on this spelling because OW comes at the end. And you always start with a single vowel first. If that can say O in that spot, stop. You're done. You don't need to put a W. You don't need to put an A. You don't need anything if an O will work in that spot. Shopoflo. Feel free to change your answer. Feel free. There we go. Okay, so consonants. Sh, O, p, a, f, l, o. We already know what this guy's going to be, just a single O because it's a longer word. You guys are getting that. Good. Now, what about this O? Can this single O say O? Yeah, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. So we don't need an OA. We don't need an OW. We don't need an OU. We don't need anything. If a single vowel will work, if a single letter will work, stop, you're done. And it will work because there's already a vowel 1 or 2 doors away, so we don't have to add one. Ah. Can that O say ah there? Yes, because there are 2 consonants after it. We don't have to double the F because there are already 2 consonants after it. And then O at the end says O. There we go. Nice. Shopoflo. All right, let's end on an easier one. Now remember, here's a big juicy hint. This is OE is for short words at the end. O is for longer words at the end. Your word is SPO. SPO. How do you spell SPO? Thank you, Henry. You too. Good job. Now, if it's a short word, we're okay to use that OE. That's the only time we get to use the OE is if it's a, there we go, if it's a 1-syllable word. Yeah, nice. So SPO. We have SP, and then here's an OE because it's a short word. Right? Okay, I feel like you guys picked that up pretty well. So you have learned that if you can spell a long O sound with just a single O, stop, you're done, right? Sometimes at the end of a word, O will be spelled OW, but that's usually for English words or American words. Sometimes you're going to see that O at the end of a foreign word like taco or piano. Tomato and potato are actually foreign words too. That's why there's an O at the end of those. That's kind of common. It's pretty common, actually. Not quite as common as OW, but you'll see it a lot. All right, my friends. You learned a lot today. You are learning more and more every time you come. Your brain bank just gets full and full of knowledge that you're going to be able to apply when you go to spell real words in the real world. You're amazing. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.